to the kingdom of Israel!
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
The book of Psalms, chapter 16 and verse 11. It says, "Thou wilt show me the path of life." So we're on the path of life. The path of life leads to paradise. The path of life leads to glory, which the glory is the kingdom of heaven. And we're on that path of life. We're walking on the path of the tree of life to gain eternal life.
Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothe the grass which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
To eternal peace and joy.
Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rakakwadash, pushing to get up out and shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. And what I want to get into with this lesson, is deal with the M.O.T.B. All right. Mandate will change the game. All right. The M.O.T. mandate will change the game. And it's going to cause an uproar amongst those that know that they're Israelites. Because as we know, the majority of Israelite camps, mainly IUIC, ISUPK, being the top two, one of the top biggest, one of the top two and the top two biggest camps, that there are. And, their stance on the M.O.T.B. is setting a lot of Israelites up for failure. You know, there's other camps as well, Wi-Fi, you know, Watchmen for Israel. Here it is, they have Watchmen in their name, but one of the biggest things that we're watching for is this M.O.T.B. And not knowing what it is, how the hell can you watch for it? Okay? Not knowing what the M.O.T.B. is, how the hell can you be a watchman, man? If you don't know what the enemy looks like, how do you know the enemy is near the gates? Okay? Completely backwards, man. You see? But this M.O.T.B. mandate is going to change the game, all right? And it's going to cause an uproar, okay, amongst those that know that they're Israelites, okay? Because they've been misguided in believing, you know, that it's sin, that it's embargo, that it's 666 white women all over the place, man. Really don't know what it is, man. You know, and it's being pushed as if it's something that they don't have to worry about. Okay? And that's why it's going to change the game. And it's going to, people are going to bug out. Elder Pastor Hart said it best. Israelites are going to bug out when this thing becomes mandatory. Okay? Because it's only so long you can say what it ain't. Now, let's go here. And I want to play a video from the beloved brother, Kyrie Abad, out of the GMS Houston camp. You know, he did a lesson, you know, and this inspired, you know, this lesson I'm doing. But let's start here in Jeremiah. Okay. Let's start here in Jeremiah 23. Okay. And we'll get a few precepts, you know, and go into the brother video, you know, because he runs it down. All right. Which inspired this video. Now let's go to Jeremiah 23 and 14. I started 14. It says, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem a horrible thing. They commit adultery. Now, you know, there's adultery, you know, been acts of adultery, you know, have been brought up amongst, you know, these other churches. But the thing that's above, you know, the actual adultery is a spiritual adultery, man. You know, here you have IUIC, you know, still calling on the name of Christ, man. That's another guy. That's another deity, man. Okay? Imagine a woman calling, you know, her husband another name. Okay? And telling him, look, you all right with that. This is what you did. I'm gonna call you this. Okay? And this is what they're pushing. This is part of their name. IUIC, Israel United in Christ. It's on their name. Okay? That's adultery, man. That's another deity. And we know the witchcraft and paganism that comes with Christ, man. Okay? You're a Hebrew Israelite, man. Calling on the English transliteration of a Greek name. How backwards is that, man? Okay. It says they strengthened also the hands of evildoers. Yo, did ISUPK tell people to take the juice? They assisted Esau. They assisted Esau when he turned the earth to a death camp with this juice, man, going back to 2020. They assisted the evildoer. Okay? And keeping Jake and having Jake confused any false doctrine is assisting Esau, because Jake confusion is going to lead to their failure, man. Okay? They're going to be overwhelmed in these last days, man, when this devil makes this thing mandatory, man, because they're not being prepared to take a hard stance against it, man. You see, we got to be willing to die, to be beheaded, not to take this technology, man. Okay? And then the technology itself is wicked. This is rebellion against the Most High. What this man is doing with this technology and wants to merge people with this M.O.T.B. Okay, with his technology, all right, is an absolutely rebellion against Yahweh Bashim al-Shah, man. How is this not spoken of? How is this not being spoken against heavily amongst these camps, man? This is not a light thing. Okay? It says that none doth return from his wickedness. It says they are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. What happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, man? Destroyed by fire, man. A lot of these camps are setting a lot of Israelites up to get that Sodom and Gomorrah judgment, which is by fire. And that's the punishment for the M.O.T.B. The punishment of Sodom and Gomorrah is directly linked to the M.O.T.B. Because you go into it, matter of fact, let's get it. Let's get Revelation 14. Okay, Revelation 14. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, they don't go heavy into that. What is the beast? What is the image? You see? And receive his mark. And that's specific. What is that mark? Okay, it's the RFID microchip, man. Okay, it's implantable technology that this man wants to put, okay, in everyone on the earth. Okay, those that survive the chaos, all right, the crisis, okay, that the Lord is going to put the spirit on the devil to bring. Okay, he wants to present the M.O.T.B as a solution to the crisis. Okay, and if you're going into this time not knowing what it is, not having any sure foundation, man, you're set up for failure. You're set up to take it because you're not being set up to resist it. If you're not being set up, all right, to take a hard stance against this, man, even your life, you know, meditate on taking the death than taking this. Okay, if you think it's sin and you think you perfect in the law, so you good, then you ain't got to worry about this. You already overcame this, man. You finna be shook up, man. Okay, it's gonna change the game. You see, this is a beast system that we in. Esau, all right, beginning with the elite bankers, Amalek, the nobility of Esau. Okay, they revived, all right, the Roman Empire. Okay, NATO, America, and EU have revived, all right, the ancient Roman Empire. Okay, and has set up that image of ancient Rome back in the earth, man. All right, and in order to continue on as a citizen within this beast system, you're gonna have to take that mark. You're gonna have to take that charagma. You're gonna have to merge with that technology, man. Okay, it says the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, the same judgment as Sodom and Gomorrah, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Those chariots, and the elect gonna be on the chariots, man. Okay, looking at your dumb ass, man. Around here saying that the M.O.T.B, it's sin. It's an embargo. You see? If you sin, it's a picture of Jesus or whatever. They change it so much. Okay? But the elect gonna be on those chariots singing the song of Moses, man, that victory over the heathen. Okay? With those new bodies with your house shot. Okay? And your simple ass is gonna be in that nuclear fire, okay, being tormented, okay, with by the wrath of Yahweh by Shema Shah. This is not a light thing. Okay, but there's a lot of Israelites that's been set up for complete failure, man. Now let's go back. Let's go back to Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23 and Jeremiah 23 and 15. It says, therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed them with wormwood and make them drink the water of gall. Wormwood is a bitter thing, and too much of it, too much wormwood can turn to poison. But it's a bitter. Brothers, you have certain detox, that you use wormwood, but it's a caution, to limit it because it can turn to a poison, but it's an extremely bitter. Okay, and it's going to be some bitterness for you false prophets and those that follow these false prophets, man. It's going to be bitter times, leading all the way up until the wrath of the Lord without mixture, which is going to be the nukes and the chariots, man. Okay, so it's going to be some bitter times, for false prophets, man, and those that follow them. Okay, and it's going to climax at those nukes, man, which is the wrath of the Lord without mixture, man. It says, for from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth in all the land. Yeah, and these false doctrines, they're outside of the temple, they're outside of the scriptures, man. They're teaching things outside of the scriptures. Okay? which is leading many, all right, to be punished, man. Verse 16 said, thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you, they make you vain. Okay, and it's a lot of vanity, man. So much emphasis on these party Passovers and these extravagant garments and the matching outfits and marching and helping the community. Vain, man. You're not being built for what's to come. You're not being built for the straight gate. They teach you to be vain, get clout, attention, social media, vain. They teach you to be vain, empty, man. When it comes to taking a hard stance, a lot of Israelites, they ain't gonna have nothing in them. Okay, you took this time to just be part of this, this Black Power, movement. This the spirit of this Black Power movement, man. Okay, this community outreach spirit, man. You're gonna be vain. You ain't gonna have it in you, man. You're gonna be empty. Okay, and a lot of you finna get ready to take that sea hip, man. Lord will we endure, man. Lord will, he keep the spirit on us, man. To be ready to die about this thing if need be. Okay, so they speak a vision of their own heart and not out of the mouth of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Yeah, so and that's why they wing it, that's why it changes, that's why they make it up as they're breaking it down, they making it up. We witness these guys do all type of things, man. Okay, when it comes to the M.O.T.B, man, it's everything but the micro C here. It's everything but that. It says they shall steal. So like I said, they say steal unto them that despise me. The Lord have said you shall have peace. Okay, because in their mind they're telling you, all right, it's not the M.O.T.B. They're telling you that you're not going to have to. You're not going to have to resist this technology, man. They're telling you that look, you're good. They're telling you you're keeping the law. Okay, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, and it's setting you up for failure. You see, they was talking about there was no Jacob's trouble. He chained and backpedaled on that. Okay, you see, and you Israelites think you're in good case because you in Israel. Okay, and you got the 26 garment, the 50-pound garment. The armbands, the boots. You see, but see, in Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be a lot of fringes, head wraps, and turbans all over the goddamn place, man. Okay, playing. You see, it says, and they say unto everyone that walketh after their imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you, man. So a lot of these Israelites think they in the clear. They think because they know Israel, they participate in the vanity and they got a little following. They got these certain clubs and groups on social media that they good. Nah, man. Okay, a lot of these Israelites that know that they're Israelites, your Jacob's trouble is gonna be worse than these straight niggas in the world, man. Because you supposed to know. Okay, your Jacob's trouble is gonna be many stripes. You see, yeah, the M.O.T.B gonna change the game, man. And then and it's near. Okay, so let's play this real quick. Play a couple minutes of this video from brother. Like he said in this video, the brother channel is GMS Spiritual Temple 2. A beautiful teacher. Subscribe. Be edified. GMS Spiritual Temple 2. Okay, he went into a lesson called "It's gonna be interesting to see what false prophets do when prophecy becomes obvious, man." And a lot of these, and me just speaking as a man, that these guys don't have no integrity. A lot of these guys gonna act like they've been saying this what it was, and some of these guys are gonna completely disappear off the scene. Okay, some of these guys gonna act like they've been saying it because ISUPK they came out and said directly that they didn't tell people to take the juice, man. When there's plenty of receipts that brothers got. Okay, showing that they said that, man. Said you will be stupid not to take it. And they came out and straight lied and said they didn't tell nobody to do that, man, because Jake don't got no integrity, man. They're not built for leadership, man. Okay? And these guys, A lot of these guys just gonna abandon you when this thing is mandated. They're gonna disappear, and these other guys, okay, they're gonna act like they've been telling you, but see, it's gonna be too late to try to whip and shake. Then you're gonna be through. It's gonna be happening fast. You ain't gonna have time to figure it out. Okay, you ain't gonna be able to build up what you need to resist this, man, overnight, man. You ain't gonna be able to microwave the faith and the courage needed. You know, the mindset needed to get through this, man. Okay, so let's play this.
All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And it's the brother Quara Abad from the GMS Houston camp. And I want to go into another lesson, and Lord willing, to do be edifying. And with everything happening, right? With everything going on with prophecy, as we see it so far, has been playing out. The things that the apostles, bishops, and elders, have been teaching us of Great Millstone, the things that these men have been teaching us for the longest before they was happening. Now we seeing it happening in that order, right? We seeing these things happen in that order, man. And what I was thinking about was, as prophecy continue to speak even more than it is now, what will these false prophets do? Things about to get tight for these false prophets out here. And in specific, I was thinking about Watchmen for Israel. Watchmen for Israel. And even at a BOY camp. Now that I'm thinking about it, but initially I was just thinking about Watchmen for Israel. Right now, consider them. Yeah, them brothers do the work. They out there, they teaching. They got the views. They cutting the Edomites. It's cool, but again, just because you are out there doing what a prophet do, that don't automatically make you a prophet. And one distinction in these latter days that could show us who the prophets and who not the prophets are what they talking about, and not only what they talking about. One of the main prophecies, the main prophecy left, is the mark of the beast, man, the M.O.T.B. Which is the micro C-hip. That's a major distinction of knowing who a prophet and who not in these latter days, along with other things such as, the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, the name of his son, Yahweh Shai, right? Who are the Israelites, America, Babylon the Great, so on and so forth. But the point is that you had, for example, Watchmen for Israel, and not just them, but these other camps. Like they'll do a video on the M.O.T.B, but it was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. You see, 7 years ago. They'll do a video, and it was years.
And there's so much done happened in all this time. There's so much that done happened concerning this M.O.T.B and your latest, these guys' latest lesson, years ago. Okay, and like the brother getting into, they're here for the optics. It look good to cut, Edomites on camera. It look good to, throw all these precepts, off the backboard. Okay, it's entertaining to Jake. Jake know they Israel, salvation only for Israel, and they, so they cut Edomites. I say it look good for optics. Okay, but when they get down to the nitty gritty, this M.O.T.B is gonna shake this shit up. You see, all them Christians you cut, all them precepts you bought, you stacked on top of each other. When it get down to it, the M.O.T.B is finna shake this shit up. It's gonna be mandated, and you're gonna have to be willing to lose everything not to take it, including your family. Okay, this is the times that we in. All right, so it's a little bit more play.
Years ago, and even in the video, like Watching for Israel, it was 4 hours long. 4 hours long. Look, the topic on the M.O.T.B responding to Great Millstone, I believe it was at the time. You see? And the own M.O.T.B was 3 hours and 50 minutes later, then they go start. The conclusion of the matter is that the M.O.T.B is sin. It's sin, right? because you're thinking it with your head, and you're performing the action with your hand, right? Right. So that's their breakdown. Oh, Sons of Thunder, right? He Elder Joel now, but Sons of Thunder, them too. And the thing I was thinking about with prophecy speaking, as it's been speaking, as we send this digital system here, right? All these nations racing towards a digital system, these things happening behind the scenes with the M.O.T.B. Again, now we have to ask again, is it still sin? Is it still sin? And if so, you got to explain that in 2026. Not a video from 2014. In 2026, with all these things happening, because the world have drastically changed since then. Think about that. The world have drastically changed since a lot of these camps and men did they breakdowns on the M.O.T.B. You see? So now with everything playing out the way it is it still sin? Is it still you think it with your head and you do it with your hand? Or is it more obvious that, and that's all prophecy? That's all Bible prophecy. Let me get this real quick. In Ezekiel 12, because this is where we at. Ezekiel 12. Again, these false prophets will be backed into a corner eventually. They already there, but they trying to find a way to wiggle out. Like the apostle, I know Orion Live, he heavy on it, on how IUIC Bishop Nate and them trying to set the stage already to change their doctrine to conform it to the digital system.
Yeah, man. And we know that these guys have no integrity. They're going to do that. But see, at the end of the day, man, like I said, you're not going to be able to microwave, all right, the faith, okay, and the mindset needed to resist this thing if you've been playing all this time, man. Okay? But the brother, like, he was running it down, man, these false counts. And then, that video he was speaking of real quick, I found that video with Wi-Fi, and that's when brother was getting on them, all right? So the apostles and the elders, but brother was getting on them guys, man. Okay? Now you go here, all right? This the video, okay? The video 5 hours long, man. Okay? You see that? And you look at people on the comment board through. Come, bring it out. Horns of Israel through. Okay? Time to cast down false doctrine. Let's get it. Simple as hell. Okay? Simple as women, they just here. Okay? The fuck, they don't know what the fuck going on. You see? But yeah, look at it. All right, 5 hours long, and then get to the last 30 minutes to tell you that it's sin. Okay, 13,000 views, and see, this is cute. This is cute for Jake. All right, well, everybody on this comment board gonna be faced, all right, with that decision of this M.O.T.B. The Esau, you gonna have to be faced with that decision, all right, to put this device in you. Okay, so you just go in these comments, man. You see? And Jake is just simple as hell. Okay? Look at this simple woman. All right? I don't know GMS, but if they are so on point, why are you here? Yeah. And at this point, hey, ain't no even sense, certain brothers be on rushing to come in, boy. But no, hey, look, keep following them niggas, man. Hey, if these niggas got it, keep following these niggas, and y'all gonna have to stand with these niggas all the way out. When this M.O.T.B. is mandated, all right, when you, all right, can't function in this society without this technology, stand with these niggas, man. You gonna have to stand with these niggas, man. Okay? Wi-Fi, IUIC, ISUPK, you gonna have to ride it out with them niggas, man. Okay? So let's go from there. Yeah, man, the blind leading the blind. All right? There's a lot of Israelites being set up for failure, man. Okay? So a lot of Israelites being set up for failure. Let's go here to the book of Revelation chapter 3. Okay? And I better get Revelation 13 first. All right, so you get Revelation 13. Now, when you go into 13 and 16, it says that he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, I want to go to the word cause. We've done and do, the Spirit gonna have us to do so many videos concerning this, But I just want to deal with this word causing to let you know this thing is going to be a mandate. Okay, it's going to be mandatory. All right. So you go here in the you go into this word in the Greek.
Strong's G 4160. Poieo. Poieo.
Poeo. Okay. It says what? To make. Okay, to make. You see? This thing gonna be mandated. He's gonna make you have to take this. You're gonna have to have this, man. Okay, to constitute or appoint one anything, man. It's gonna be law. To declare one anything. Yeah, you're gonna make this thing law, man. All right, to appoint or ordain one debt. You see, this thing is gonna be made law. Okay, this thing is gonna be mandatory. All right, and if you don't have it, you can't participate in this society, man. Okay, and if you've been under the impression that this is something you don't have to worry about, man, this probably gonna kick your teeth down your throat, man. Okay, and you gonna be through and out of there, man. You see? So when you go from there, let's go here. But there's a remnant that's gonna be kept during this time, man. But a lot of you people are getting ready to bug out. You Israelites that know that you Israelites, man, are finna bug out, man. Okay, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10. All right, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, man. And let's get this, man. Everyone's going to be tried with this. Okay, this is going to try everyone. Let's get this word try. See? But if you don't know what it is, if you don't think this is the M.O.T.B, all right, you've been set up to take it because you're not going to look at it as, going against, okay, how about Shema shot. All right, so you get this word try.
Strong's G 3985. Pyrazzo. Pyrazzo.
All right. Yeah, it says to try, to make a trial, a test for the purpose of ascertain his quality or what he thinks or how he will behave himself, man. Everyone's going to be tried with this technology, man. This M.O.T.B, this RFID microchip. Everyone's going to be tried with it. Okay? This will be a global mandate. Okay? It's going to be a global mandate. It's going to get, okay? These are the times we coming into. You see, and the Lord is testing to see who's authentic. All right, it says to try or test one's faith, virtue, character by enticement to sin. Okay, and if you don't know what it is, and you are, and see by the fact that you're being taught that it's not what it is. Okay, you're already justifying in your mind to take it, man. You see, you're already falling under the temptation to take it by the pure fact that you're under someone that's teaching you that that's not what it is, man. Okay, a lot of Israelites been set up for complete failure, man. Like I say, this M.O.T.B mandate will change the game. It's gonna shake a lot of shit up in Israel, man. And it's gonna have to try. It's gonna try everyone. Okay, Revelation 3:11 says, "Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown." Okay, and you listening to these niggas lying, man. These niggas are snatching the crown off your head, man, because they setting you up for failure. Okay, you listen to these guys tell you that it ain't that. Okay, and it ain't no getting around it. You can't make sin fit into their breakdown, man, of the M.O.T.B, man, of Revelation 13, 16, and 17. With all the things that this devil is rolling out real time right now, there's no way you can make that make sense. that you're gonna be able to buy and sell with sin, man. That don't make no goddamn sense, man. Okay, and there's no way to make that make sense where you can buy and sell without sin. Okay, Revelation 3:12 said, "Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power." And this begins with the 144,000, man. You know, Yahweh Shai is going to be the cornerstone. You know, and we overcome what? This M.O.T.B, man. You know, we don't give in, man. We resist even in death if necessary, man. You know, because those that die are beheaded for not taking the sea hill. Guess what? They're going to be raised immortal, and they're going to be raised to their reward to be what? A pillar in the temple of the Most High. You see? So it's a win for the elect either way, even in death, man. And we got to go into there with this mindset, man, that we win in death, man. We know one thing, not to bend the knee to the M.O.T.B, man. Okay? And it says, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my power and the name of the city of my power, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my power. I will write upon him my new name. Okay, which means the Lord's gonna he's gonna sign off, okay, on our authority, man. You see, we're gonna rule under his authority. It's like the Most High signing off with his authority, because their word name goes into authority, rank, deeds, because we got the name. Okay, the name of the Father is Yahweh, the name of his Son is Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that name is going to be praised in the earth. Okay, those names are going to be exalted in the earth, man. They're going to be reverenced in the earth, man. And we're going to rule under those names, because Yahweh Shai, he's bringing his authority to the earth, man. You see, it's going to be a new authority to the name of Yahweh Shai, man. And we're going to rule under that authority. Okay, as pillars, as he's the cornerstone, we're going to be the pillars help holding up, the government, man, aiding Yahweh Shai and holding up the government, but it starts with us overcoming. Okay, overcoming, man. All right, and that last test is going to be the sea hill, the M.O.T.B. Okay, and there's a lot of Israelites set up to fail that test, man. And Lord will we pass it, man. Lord will we endure. So yeah, just wanted to get into that. Lord will you, brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us, younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully. Shalom.